A village cursed, lives drained, and one woman at the center of it all. What would drive someone to betray their own people? And what happens when darkness demands more than you can give? Some choices bring wealth, but at what cost? This is the tale of greed, power, and redemption. This is the legend of Alake and the curse of the undergarments.
Once upon a time, in the quiet village of Ranga, there lived a young woman named Alok. Her life was a story of struggle. After losing her family in a tragic accident, she moved into a small, crumbling hut on the edge of the village. Her clothes were tattered, her meals scarce, and her hands rough from endless labor. She fetched water, cleaned homes, and tended fields, but her hard work barely kept her alive. The villagers pitied her, whispering, "Poor Alok, always unlucky." The men avoided her, and the women viewed her with quiet disdain. Alake walked through life like a shadow, invisible and forgotten. One evening, as Alake sat outside her hut, gazing at the fading sunlight, she heard a soft, melodious voice behind her. "Good evening, Alok." Startled, she turned to see a woman unlike anyone she had ever met. The stranger was stunning, her skin glowing like polished ebony, her lips red as fresh hibiscus. She wore a shimmering gown that clung to her body, accentuating her curves, and adorned herself with sparkling jewels. The air around her carried an intoxicating perfume. "Who are you?" Alok asked, her voice trembling. The woman smiled, her teeth as white as pearls. "My name is Nyah. I've been watching you, Alok. Your resilience, your strength, it's admirable. I've come to offer you a way out of your suffering." Alake blinked, unsure if she was dreaming. "A way out? What do you mean?" Nyah stepped closer, her hips swaying with every move. She set her ornate leather bag on the ground and opened it. Inside was a dazzling display of jewels, golden trinkets, and delicate figurines. They sparkled even in the dim light, their beauty mesmerizing. "These are yours, Alake," Nyah said, her voice dripping with promise. "But in return, you must do one simple thing for me." Alake tore her eyes away from the treasures. "What do you want me to do?" Nyah leaned in closer, her gaze intense. "Collect the old bras and underwear of the women in this village. Bring me as many as you can. For each collection, I will reward you handsomely." Alok's eyes widened in confusion. "Bras? Underwear? Why would you want such things?" Nyah's smile didn't falter. "It's not your concern why, only that you fulfill your part of the bargain. Think of what you could have, Alok: comfort, beauty, freedom from hunger. Isn't that worth it?" Alok hesitated. The offer felt strange, yet the weight of her struggles crushed her resolve. She glanced at the glittering treasures again and thought of the life she could have. "All right," she said softly. Nyah handed Alake a small jeweled bracelet. "This is just the beginning. Return to me with your first collection and I will give you more." The next morning, Alake began her task. She carried a basket to each house, offering handmade baskets, colorful fabrics, or small trinkets in exchange for old bras and underwear. The women were puzzled but intrigued by the trade. Many gladly handed over their worn-out garments, eager for Alok's enticing goods. Soon, Alok's fortune began to change. Nyah's payments were generous, and Alake used the money to repair her hut, buy new clothes, and eat well for the first time in years. The villagers marveled at her transformation. "She's finally found her luck," they said, admiring her radiant appearance. But at night, Alake would sneak to the edge of the forest with sacks of undergarments. Nyah always waited there, a soft glow surrounding her, as if the moonlight clung to her. She took the garments, whispering strange words that sent chills down Alake's spine. In return, Nyah handed over more wealth. As Alake's prosperity grew, strange things began to happen in the village. Women complained of sleepless nights and strange dreams. They felt drained, their energy sapped, and their laughter faded. The men grew restless, noticing their wives' sudden fragility. Alake noticed too, but she was too afraid to confront Nyah. One evening, as she handed over another sack of undergarments, she mustered the courage to ask, "Oh, what do you do with these?" Nyah's smile faded, her eyes narrowing. "That is not your concern, Alake. You've benefited greatly from this arrangement. Don't let curiosity ruin what you've gained." Alake nodded, but the unease in her heart grew heavier. One night, a sharp-eyed neighbor named Tammy decided to follow Alake. Suspicious of her nightly trips, Tammy wrapped herself in a shawl and trailed Alake to the forest. Hidden behind the tall grass, she watched as Alake met Nyah by a clearing lit with flickering candles. Nyah opened the sacks and began chanting, her voice low and rhythmic. The bras and underwear lifted into the air, glowing faintly before vanishing into nothingness. The energy in the clearing crackled, and Tammy felt an unnatural chill. Terrified, Tammy rushed back to the village and alerted the elders. The next day, Alok was summoned before the entire village. Alake, the head elder said sternly, "Your neighbor Tammy has accused you of working with a strange woman and stealing from us. What do you have to say for yourself?" Alok fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "I was desperate," she confessed. "Nyah promised to change my life if I collected your undergarments for her. I didn't know the cost." "What does she do with them?" the elder demanded. "She uses them in rituals," Alake whispered. "She drains your energy, your strength, your essence. I didn't understand at first, but now I see the harm I've caused. Please forgive me." The villagers erupted in anger and fear. "We must stop this, Nyah," one shouted. Led by the village priest, the villagers marched to the forest that night. They found Nyah waiting by the clearing, her beauty more radiant than ever, but her eyes gleamed with malice. "You dare challenge me?" Nyah hissed, her voice like thunder. "You gave me your trust, your greed, your desires. This is your doing as much as mine." The priest stepped forward, raising his staff. "Your evil ends here." A fierce battle ensued, chants clashing with dark whispers, light against shadow. With the strength of the villagers' unity and the priest's powerful rituals, Nyah's form began to waver, her beauty fading to reveal a monstrous figure. With one final chant, she was banished into the void, her screams echoing into silence. Though Nyah was gone, the village bore the scars of her deceit. The women slowly regained their strength, but trust was harder to repair. Alake, racked with guilt, left the village, vowing to live a life of humility and atonement. Her story became a legend, a warning passed down through generations. Beware of gifts that come at a hidden cost, and remember that greed can blind even the most desperate heart. Thank you for joining Jum's journey and experiencing the power of acceptance and resilience with us. If you found her story inspiring, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more captivating tales ahead. Until next time, farewell.